I remember the first day I set foot in New York. It feels like yesterday, and yet ages ago. It was one of the most exciting days of my life, but also one of the most terrifying. I had a good life in my country, in France. I wasn't running away from misery, war, or anything bad. I have a wonderful family there, whom I love very much, and a group of fantastic friends. However, I was feeling unsure about the direction of my professional career. I was also trying to discover who I was as I entered adulthood. I suppose we could say I came to New York to find myself, even though I had no idea who or what exactly I was going to find. I threw myself in this immensity, this sea of people, and went with the flow. I remember getting off the plane and taking a car to my new home, and I remember vividly the multitude of feelings that invaded me. Ecstasy, admiration, and wonder, but also fear, distress, and anxiety. I felt like I was drowning in this ocean of high buildings, so shiny from all the lights beaming out of the windows. I felt like I was out of breath. I had never felt so small in my entire life. The few months after that were full of discovery and exploration. My eyes were looking everywhere and all my senses were stimulated like never before. I mean, I've traveled before, but not in places like New York. New York is different. New York is unique. It's alive at all times. It's the city that never sleeps, which is why I love it, but also hate it at the same time. It can be exhausting. It is exhausting. Today, after more than 9 years here, I feel more exhausted than ever. And probably happier than ever as well. New York makes me feel so contradictory. A part of me could never live anywhere else anymore because it is so scared to feel bored, lonely. But a part of me wants to run away from this city so much, far from the agitation, noise, disgusting trains and rats. Is that what the American dream is? A series of contradictions? The more New York becomes my home, the more I want to leave. I want to find peace, quiet, nature, the chirping of the birds, and the wind through the trees, the smell of fresh air. I want to not feel so small and crushed anymore. When I just came here, I barely spoke English. Every dialogue, every encounter with a classmate or someone on the street was a challenge. My brain was smoking from thinking so much all the time. Why do Americans speak so quickly? Why do they not articulate? Why do some of them mumble through their teeth and eat half of their words? Having to understand people was my first challenge. Then came the challenge of making them understand me. By repeating the same word or sentence multiple times. What's the deal with this damn letter H? I never had to pronounce it before. To be honest, I don't think this language struggle is ever going to completely disappear. It is better now, of course, but it will never be perfectly smooth. Making jokes, translating sayings and slang, and navigating abbreviations are only a few examples of persisting challenges. Cultural differences in communication are also added to the struggle. I became painfully aware of these differences when my English improved. I realized that in New York, I felt that I have to stay politically correct at all times. For example, I have to be extremely careful about what I say or what I do in order to avoid accidentally offending others or making them uncomfortable. In September 2015, when I was in my first dance class in school here, I remember being so amazed when the teacher asked for the students' permission to touch them in order to correct their dancing. In France, and I think in most of Europe, the teachers do not care about asking permission. Teachers do what they think needs to be done to make you improve. Both sides have positive and negative aspects, of course. No system, whether political or educational, is perfect. But this is only one example of a cultural shock for someone born and raised in Europe until 20 years old. And let's not even talk about dating and romantic relationships. It is going to sound cliché, but I think French culture has a certain elegance that is missing here. Some people say that we're not friendly and not welcoming. I don't think that's true, but I think our way of addressing people we don't know might give this impression. Americans are louder and talk to people they don't know very well more casually. Most of them are also way more extravagant. I'm used to it now. Even though I miss some of the French delicacies, I love how people in New York are free from judgments and criticism. It's easier to be yourself here, free from the burden of other people's eyes and ideas. That's why I love it here, and that's why I'm staying. Even though I sometimes feel overwhelmed by the people, the noise, the pollution, the rats and the lights. Even though I'm sometimes exhausted, New York gives me an exhilarating feeling. It gives me freedom. It gives me the need to thrive, to surpass myself. And it gives me so much adventure. New York is like a drug. You might want to quit and escape it, but you can't.
I moved to New York from Costa Rica, I was so innocent. I thought I knew it all. But looking back, I'd call myself naive. I thought I would be treated differently and that I'd have a fair shot. I find myself constantly proving my worth, and with twice the amount of work as a US citizen, it renders me to a cartoon chili pepper, fiery, intense, and at times too hot to handle.
Going abroad equal following a feeling of freedom. Coming to New York City brought me to a new reality, a place where I can finally be myself without judgment. Then was all I wanted to do. At the age of 17, my community was pressing me to share my life's plans, and my intent to dance overshot them.
As hard as it is, I appreciate the extra word I've applied, and I appreciate all those who helped me get here. It's the real fire that forged me. Being an international artist in the US is a daily questioning of your worth, your place, and your extraordinary abilities. But there's a saying I read once: I've come too far to only come this far.
I never imagined that this voyage, which I, a freshly new movement lover, expected would be brief, would morph into this beautiful experience. In New York, my desires, imagination, and self-expression are limitless, to the point where it can become arduous and chore-like. What nobody told me, in any moment the coin could flip on you.
I miss my mom. I miss the mountains and the green. I miss strangers saying hi, offering me their soft smiles and nods on the street. I miss fruit and beans tasting the way they should. I miss the patience everyone carried. No rush to get everything done, no rush to be the first or the best. I miss feeling like I have a community. I have friends and loved ones here in New York, but everything feels disconnected and spread out. I miss the excitement over the little things, such as Krispy Kreme opening its first chain in Costa Rica.
Shortly after arriving, I discovered a community that I truly identified with. Every day brought with different learning experiences, discovering new ethnicities, cultures, languages, opinions, and behaviors. It was all so new and at times in conflict with the customs I witnessed growing up. New York was a beautiful jungle of surprises. Before long, it felt like home. My mind in awe from all the endless paths of possibility open for me was eager. I forged so many connections, even without a word of English. I expressed myself through movement, feeding from the fire that follows.
People back home are not perfect, but corrupted in a different way. Softer, behind your back. Nobody wants to upset anybody. People skirt around issues. There exists a national fear of confrontation. It's sweet and peaceful, yet frustrating. Most people I know struggle somehow. The workforce is tired and underpaid. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That can be said for both of my homes. I feel safer here. I don't miss the gossip or the small-mindedness of back home. People are quick to shut down those with ambition. New York is exciting like that. People are full of passion and drive and want to make a name for themselves. I guess that can be my biggest struggle, finding the balance between a culture that is never satisfied and one that finds contentment so easily. Pura vida, people in Costa Rica always say, if you have food on your table, health, a roof over your head, and a loved one next to you, you have everything.
All of this shaped me into the person I am today, discovering my gender identity and realizing the impact of my life in this world. On the other side of things, there have been sacrifices. This happens naturally when you choose you over being home, over being present for family emergencies, or asking for your mom's embrace on bad days, or just wanting to be in your little cousin's memories. In my case, it was necessary to leave. There was much more than all that already happening. I experienced a world full of darkness, where all I sought was acceptance. I experienced feeling ignored and unfulfilled. My responsibilities seemed to change into a full-time job, as well as my thoughts and mistakes. It's easy to realize how cruel real life can be when all those piled up traumas and forgotten desires resurface.
Costa Rica always makes the list of happiest countries in the world, and it's true, to a certain extent. A part of me thinks I could be happy like that too, without the hustle, with people never knowing my name or my art. The thing is, I'm happy here too, without the recognition and without the simple things.
Salir de ese hambre mental que te atrapa, no te deja ver la luz. Es que hay que estar atento, requiere de toda tu energía. Si es que quieres salir de ese hambre mental que te atrapa, no te deja ver la luz. Pan, requiere de toda tu energía. Si es que quieres salir de ese hambre mental que te atrapa, no te deja ver la luz. Es que hay que estar atento, requiere de toda tu energía. Si es que quieres salir de ese hambre mental que te atrapa, no te deja ver la luz.
Waking up to roars, crackling, burning air past my eardrums, heat waves of burning existence. I don't remember what rushed my legs to action, my mind twisting itself to seeing actions I did not take, watching the capture of the body and its dismissal, blaming God for my cowardice as a placeholder for my shame. Everything I should have done is printed on my heart, everything I should have grabbed, protected, and swallowed before I ran. Mothers, daughters, people, windowsills where sunlight flowed freely, warm, small places filled like pockets with our lives. All of it's still there, but now somehow gone. I don't remember ever looking back. I was gone, and I couldn't see what was behind me. I ran forever until I was floating. I ran until I became the stars. I became a low hum drifting in the landscape. I felt the tangerine, the little orange my mother gave me when I was young, flow through me again, connecting my cells to my spirit. What was me became my daughter. What was my daughter became her son, who became his sons to become their daughters. The cortex of the tangerine spirit remained with them throughout. I saw my daughter holding doors open for every stranger. I saw my sons fighting and tackling each other into ant beds. They screamed all the way home, cried to their mom, and laughed in their tub. So it goes. I saw a daughter who was blessed with many children and gave to all her children. She saw after people's homes and cleaned them with bleach. She would cough into her handkerchief to hide her sickness from those with more wealth than her. She was the happiest and most rewarding I'll ever be. Her children would be reprimanded and paddled for speaking their mother's language in school. So it goes. I had said farewell happiness and hello suffering and hello happiness and farewell suffering so many times, over and over. I thought about the little orange, and I followed it until I found myself. A little orange going from the hands of my daughter to her grandson. He ate plastic bags full of them and kept all the seeds to bury them in their grandmother's backyard. Those seeds burst, tore themselves apart under the earth in a violent act, and became something totally new. The boy thought about his name, a name his parents did not give him, and he thought about his grandfather's name, a name his parents had not given him either, but a name the grandfather had taken, held tight, protected, and swallowed until it was his own. That little orange tree didn't bear fruit until the boy took its roots and shook them free in a violent act. I sprouted from the branches, feeling free, feeling final, swallowing my name with a little tangerine. I allowed myself to drift into the landscape. I'm not sure how to live within a cycle. A body in a vessel's loop. It's hard to know my role other than my tendency to break things. But don't get me wrong, it's not that. History repeats itself because we never learn. We have a need to connect dots and find patterns that are literally skin deep. My feelings and my agency are mine, but my memories are in my frontal lobe, my hippocampus, my body, which at some point I'm going to leave behind. When I just am, I am. Maybe I'll see it. And I feel freedom to that. You know, my grandfather had a name that wasn't given to him because the nurse didn't understand it. But he still found his identity in it enough to give it to his son, reclaiming his identity on the tapestry and making it his, making it final. It's something I think about a lot.
Because, you know, everybody talks like a different language and try to speak the same language that you didn't understand all of that words.
And we should explain because I need to improve, but learning English because my English was like zero when I came here. This is a good option for me, a good opportunity to learn English.
In New York, it's not a problem. It's not a lot of nationalities here.
If you want to grow up or something like that and learn in different skills, you have to learn English.
Yes, it's expensive here.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
Straight from Russia, it's really expensive.
Yes, it has
Especially rent.
We were speaking in Spanish, obviously, but suddenly a woman, brown woman with a little child, start yelling us, speak English, not Spanish. But like a crazy woman, it was a very bad experience.
We are homeless, yes, asked for money. I just walked out and the guy asked for money. I think he is homeless. He said, give me the money. And I didn't answer, I just walked straight. Give me the money. And I still walked straight. And then he said, go to China. So how come you know I am from New York is a big city, but it is very difficult to people. Yes. France here, it's busy. It's very, sometimes you feel alone.
So, the city, things are really beautiful. I like it. I like the weather because in Ecuador it's tropical. We don't have raining and sun. And that's it. It was my first time that I saw the snow. It was really beautiful there.
I was like in a movie. It was nice. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Yeah, and I like trash. I like rats in New York because it's New York and it's beautiful. Yeah, I like it.
New York is beautifully chaotic. It was my first impression. It's like I live in a movie because here was recorded or made many movies.
Maybe I'm going to stay here. It was like 2 years ago.
I love New York because of the racism. There's different people, different culture, different language. I think that this is the main
It's amazing. New York is a big city. We can find almost 800 languages spoken here. Many cultures.
I like New York because
Mexico, Brazil.
Not all people fall under this category, but as the saying goes, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Or what we say, 出る杭は打たれる.
In Japan, if I were to stick out too much, if I were too different, I would be seen as weird. Japanese people often wonder, how do others see me?
Am I sticking out too much?
They deeply care how they are viewed.
They are also very attentive to their surroundings and to others.
They are polite
Detailed.
and careful.
They take care to build a solid foundation in whatever they strive toward.
So that as a group,
they can build something greater than themselves.
people in New York City stick out all they want.
And as the saying goes, there are different strokes for different folks. Or what we say, 十人十色.
They stick out in beautiful ways.
They have many different faces, colors, values, and perceptions. They are independent, free, and strong. They do not care what others do, yet they have a strong respect for others. They carry a core strength of mind that values individuality and diversity.
Differentiated opinions. I love learning about differentiated viewpoints and experiences.
Everything is vibrant. I have a strong desire to meet more people, learn more values and perceptions, and expand my own range of expression.
I knew I wanted to come to New York, vibrant New York, to dance.
It is where people from many parts of the world gather, and there is so much to learn.
Each day dancing in New York has been a treasure. I have learned so many new techniques.
I have felt so much freedom.
And I have met so many new people, all trying to better myself. Japanese and American cultures are completely different.
They think about time differently. they think about their roles in society differently. For example, Japanese will not stop work when it is time to stop.
Americans will.
Japanese work cooperatively and align their abilities.
Americans work very independently.
Japanese keep their heads down and work hard.
Americans are individualists and bold. When I think about where I want to work in the future, I could move back to Japan and dance there. But New York City provides so many more dancing opportunities.
Japanese people fear and admire the free attitude of foreign countries.
Coming here was both exciting and difficult at times. It was often painful not being able to convey what I was thinking. But if I try hard to convey my thoughts, people will feel something. So I think it's up to me. I love seeing so many different people on stage and in the studios. Dancing together. People of different backgrounds
with different expressions
and power.
and experiences. They share space together, creating special moments. Here, I can express myself in my own way without being bound by anything. We are one. There is a world that is possible. There is passionate and great love and respect for oneself and others.
We are one in New York.
And in Japan, we are building something greater than themselves.
felt like home to me since the first day I arrived here. In Italy, I never felt a sense of belonging, acceptance, or consideration from others. I felt like I was never enough, like I was never fitting in a box or a group. Am I wrong? Is something wrong with me? Do others feel this way? New York taught me I was not wrong. I was just in the wrong spot in the world. In New York, I met people who could truly listen to me, accepting and helping me to develop my ideas and thoughts. New York is a place where I felt adequate space to grow, to be wrong, to explore, and to be supported. New York taught me what community is. New York gave me my family and a real one. I found my real self. I understand my past, I empower my present, and today I'm creating my future. Sometimes it is harder to comprehend a strong cultural difference. New York values work success, while Italy values personal time. In New York, I measure life with work with, and it feels like people here are valuing life based on quantity rather than quality. In New York, there is an extreme importance placed on performance quality, between age and speaking skills, which are useful at any given time, because any connection and conversation can become a work opportunity. Career orientation and success are such a priority here, rather than family, friends, and personal time. But I still wonder sometimes if all of this it is in my head. How do people really see me? Hurtful memories come to my mind. Do you remember when we were talking and I could not understand anything? You had such a strong accent, but you had a lot of passion, so I was nodding along with you, but I had no clue what you were saying. Don't get me wrong, I support you and I have nothing against queer immigrants, but I wouldn't wish your fate on me because it sounds difficult. This all hurts. I'm not just a funny, strong, accented girl from Italy. I am more than someone with a lot of passion. Or am I? Another memory comes to mind. But what do you know about struggle? You are white. Yes, I'm white, but I am also an immigrant. I understand struggle. I've lost part of my family. I had to give up to the idea of going through the rest of my life with my parents and seeing them age. I give up ease and I choose struggle. I choose the hard path and understand struggle, no matter what I look like. I still wonder sometimes if all of this it is in my head. How do people really see me?
And as a statement, there are different strokes for
People
different
like I'm not perfect, but corrected in a different way. Softer, behind your back. Nobody wants to upset anybody.
many different races, colors, values, and perceptions.
There exists a national independence, free, sweet, and peaceful, yet frustrating. Most people I know struggle somehow. The workforce is tired and underpaid. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. After these things, both of my homes. I feel so bad because one of the most excited was that myself was one of those ones in the house. I work hard to shut down. There's a physician, that was a long way of his own back. Actually, drawing everyone off the way from his I guess that was my first justice. I love the knowledge of his never satisfied. More than that Faustine can. I was also using this for the war I was, as I illustrated, but always say, I see the boots on the table. I thought to myself, roof over your head, and though I had a nice day,
Whatever I should have done is printed on my heart.
I put myself in this instance to this seconds, so I just say it was difficult. I remember being difficult, and I remember You can be exhausted after months of being I feel more exhausted than ever. I'm probably happier than ever as well. You know, it makes me feel so contradictory.